Two factors that could play a role in today's outcome are one, rest, and two, the heat. Both teams played Friday, but Northwestern had an extra 20 minutes added to their time. I spoke with Hope Brandner yesterday, and she said this team needs to play their best game every game, and she got things started off hot in the bottom of the first inning with a home run. Unusual matchup this weekend with a Big Ten versus a Big 12 team in the middle of April, but both these teams have an odd number of teams within their respective conference. Talked a lot about energy over the phone. It's a loud venue here. How do you think your players are handling this environment?
Not well, but we're starting 5 underclassmen.
You came in yesterday as a pinch hitter, cracked the lineup today, 2 home runs on the day. What has been working for you so well at the plate? Kanisha, you guys came out with some fire during that second half. What was the message from Coach Whalen in the locker room? Earlier this week, head coach for the Gophers, Jamie Traxel, said playing Northwestern this weekend is like playing themselves because their stat lines are so identical. Now, the key for the Gophers this weekend, she said, will be harnessing their control and channeling their emotions at the right time with their season on the line. A local Minnesota player for the Iowa Hawkeyes is Abby Lean, and she's one of 9 Big Ten players with a single, double, triple, and a home run on the season, and she's the only player on their roster whose father makes homemade venison and beef jerky. It was a windy game today. How does that affect you when you're at bat? Ethan Lezak started things off with the pin. You follow with the pin. How critical was it to start off on a good note? Head coach of the women's tennis team, Katrina Thompson, is one of 9 female head coaches at the University of Minnesota.
I was, fortunate to get the opportunity here. Administration, I owe a lot of credit to them for taking a chance and giving me the opportunity.
Last week in a press conference, Notre Dame's women's basketball head coach said,
"We don't have enough female role models. We don't have enough visible women leaders."
Hearing her response made me ask myself, why don't we see more female head coaches? Sports psychologist Dr. Nicole Lavoie says the lack of women in coaching is a result of
societal bias, organizational structure, people in positions of power, gender bias and discrimination.
Dr. Lavoie says media outlets haven't played their part. She said women's sports gets 2 to 4% of all sport coverage.
When you see her, you can be her. So it's very important for us to cover women's sport, and particularly amazing women coaches, respectfully and proportionately.
Seeing women as or females in those positions, it gives them something to look forward to and goals to achieve.
As we strive for more inclusion in sports, Coach Thompson will continue doing what she loves, coaching and mentoring. Jessica Hart, University Report. In a state with no shortage of frozen lakes, a blue and white wave has started to melt the ice.
When I was growing up, there was no NWHL and there was no professional league for me to aspire to be in.
Netminder Amanda Levier is one of 25 women on the Minnesota Whitecaps roster, the 5th team to join the National Women's Hockey League.
When I first found out they were joining the NWHL, I was pretty excited for just girls hockey in general. I realized I think it's important to have a female lead a group of women that are trying to pave the way to create more opportunities for females.
Growing up, people never thought a girl could be as good as a boy, and people don't believe that girls can play at a high level.
We get to have professional hockey as something that young hockey players can kind of aspire to.
Stepping out on the ice on our first home game, it was amazing.
I'm so honored that anyone would make a sign or would come and cheer me on.
It even exceeded our expectations. The fans were so loud, the kids were going crazy. They just were so excited to see us play, to tap our hands on the way out.
And the adults? They're just as excited.
I am just so excited that women get a chance to play hockey after college.
I've been a fan of the Whitecaps for a couple of years. They've got some of my favorite players, including Hannah Brandt, and I'm so happy we have Amanda Levier now because I didn't like her when she played for the Buttes.
With only 2 games left of the season, the team has set their sights on something bigger.
My hope for this team is obviously to have a successful season. I think it'd be great to come out on top at the end of the year, but I think even more importantly to continue to grow the game in the state and in the country, and just to, I guess, hopefully be able to get as many little girls into our games as possible.
In St. Paul, I'm Jessica Hart.